Later that night, as the palace slept under the silver glow of twin moons, Kale walked alone through the archives. The halls were lined with holographic murals depicting Illyrian conquests, the burning of Terran colonies, the surrender of Mars, the kneeling of the last human general before an Illyrian emperor. He stared at that image for a long time. "I wonder," came Seraphine's voice from behind him, soft as starlight, "if you resent me for this." Kale turned. She stood in a gown of flowing crystal silk, her hair unbound, her crown absent. Without her regalia, she looked less like a queen and more like the women he saw in private. Still proud, but with eyes that carried galaxies of sorrow. He took a slow breath. "Resentment would mean I see you as my enemy." "And do you not?" she asked, stepping closer. "I did," he admitted, "before I saw the person behind the crown." Her expression softened. "And what did you see?" "A woman who's been alone too long." For the first time, Seraphine looked away. Loneliness is a tax of power. You, of all people, should know that. Kale smiled faintly. "Maybe, but I also know that power means nothing if you're afraid to share it." Their eyes met, and in that moment, something ancient and fragile passed between them. Not just desire, but understanding. A bridge across species, wars, and history itself. Then the floor trembled. A deep rumble shook the palace, followed by alarms echoing through the halls. The lights dimmed, flickering crimson. Kale and Seraphine both turned toward the window and saw fire streaking through the atmosphere. Ships, not Illyrian ships. The first strike, an invasion fleet of unknown origin, pierced the skies of Solara Prime. Plasma fire rained upon the upper spires. The planetary shields flickered, buckling under the assault. Within minutes, the capital was plunged into chaos. The invaders bore a sigil long thought extinct, the Auralan sigil, the mark of the first rebellion the Illyrians had ever crushed. Seraphine's voice rang through the comms as she summoned her guards. "Mobilize all fleets. Protect the planetary core. No one leaves orbit alive." Kale moved beside her. "You'll need to evacuate to the undervaults." Her glare burned. "I do not run from war." "Then at least let me fight beside you." She hesitated for the briefest moment. He was unarmored, unaugmented, human, yet something in his stance made her pulse quicken. His eyes gleamed with a resolve that reminded her of the ancient warriors of legend. "Very well," she said, "but do not die." He gave a small, lopsided smile. "You either." The battle that followed tore the heavens apart. From the palace balconies, Seraphine commanded her legions, thousands of Illyrian dreadnoughts rising into orbit. Kale fought on the ground, leading the palace guard through burning corridors, saving civilians, cutting down invaders with precision far beyond normal human reflexes. And yet, beneath the fury, something changed in him. When plasma fire struck near the queen, he moved faster than any man should have. When an enemy's psionic blast struck him, his eyes flared, briefly, impossibly, with the same light that lived in Illyrian blood. When the smoke cleared, the first wave was repelled. The palace stood wounded but unbroken. The queen returned to her chambers, exhausted but alive. Kale followed, blood streaking his armor, breathing hard but unharmed. She turned to him, trembling from the adrenaline. "You saved me." He met her gaze. "No, Seraphine, we saved each other." She reached out, fingertips brushing his cheek. "You fought like one of us." Kale hesitated. "Maybe I am. Maybe more than you know." Before she could ask what he meant, a shadow passed over the window, a shape vast and ancient, a ship unlike any she had ever seen. And in her mind, through the deep currents of psionic thought, a whisper emerged. "He awakens." Seraphine froze, eyes wide. The voice wasn't hers. It came from the stars themselves. She looked at Kale. His eyes glowed faintly, no longer the soft gray of humanity, but the burning gold of something far beyond either species. The morning after the invasion, the skies over Solara Prime were bruised violet and gold, heavy with smoke from fallen ships. The capital still burned in places where plasma storms had melted the towers. Repair drones hummed over the ruins, weaving lattices of light to restore what had been broken. Inside the palace, silence replaced the usual hum of psionic currents. Every Illyrian noble felt the echo of something they could not name, a vibration in the air, a pulse beneath thought itself. It came from the throne chamber. From him, Kael Arden stood alone before the shattered throne. The great crystalline seat had cracked during the bombardment, its energy core flickering weakly. When the debris had fallen, Seraphine had been thrown back, stunned. Kael had caught the largest fragment with his bare hands, and the shard had glowed. Now, hours later, the same light lingered under his skin. It pulsed through his veins like liquid fire. He could feel the city, every heartbeat, every whisper of energy. It frightened him. He heard footsteps. Seraphine approached, her hair unbound, her royal armor scorched. Even so, she moved with the effortless poise of a monarch. "Kael," she said quietly, "what happened during the battle?" He looked at his hands. "I don't know. I saw you fall. I reached for you, and then the world broke open." "You wielded psionic energy," she whispered. "That's impossible. Humans cannot channel light." Kael turned toward her, eyes faintly glowing gold. "And yet I did." A long silence stretched between them, filled only by the faint crackle of the dying throne. "Perhaps," Seraphine murmured, "you were never fully human." Kael's voice hardened. "I am human. Whatever this is, it's something else. Something I didn't ask for." She stepped closer, studying him with both fascination and fear. "Power rarely asks for permission, Kael.